Hey there, Ninja Clan. Lupine Fiasco back with more FaB gameplay through the Talishar.net client. Got another Iyslander game for you today, prepping for US Nats, so still running games against the old favorites. For the Iyslander matchup, we bring in Spring Tunic. We are still on the Flame Call package in this build. We are boarding out Rise from the Ashes to bring in Command and Conquer. I don't believe this is correct in recent iterations of my list. I am still on Rise from the Ashes. It can be devastating. It can also be a great zero-cost way to start your turn, where Command and Conquer can feel clunky if you don't see it in a hand with a blue card. Especially if your Iyslander opponent is on a full arcane build, you will rarely get the opportunity to do anything with it besides possibly pitch or throw a brutal assault. So, coming up against an Iyslander here, we open up with 2 blues in hand. Our Iyslander is going first, so they are going to get the first Tunic activation. They did not freeze this Ice Eternal. So we do have an option here to activate FaB at the end of Iyslander's turn. Pitch our 2 blues, pitch a Command and Conquer, and then our 2 blues to get that out of our hand to pick up a Phoenix Flame. It's an okay line. Obviously, having a Phoenix Flame in hand and not in graveyard is a bad way to start our next turn, but at least we start with no frostbites. That being said, I don't love that plan here. We can pay through the frostbites and also send some damage through whatever disruption Iyslander might have for us. I like keeping these 2 blues, pitching 4 to attack with a Kodachi. If this is some sort of interaction, we could pitch 2 for a second Kodachi and then pitch Command and Conquer, or rather just play a Blaze Headlong, pitching this Command and Conquer somewhere along the way. All of this is to say we don't need to clear these frostbites now. Iyslander takes the Kodachi hit. So here we're choosing just to Command and Conquer. I do think this is the correct play. There is a world where we attack with a Kodachi, a second Kodachi first, give Iyslander the opportunity to take 1, and then Command and Conquer is not only 6, but is also a Mask Momentum trigger. If I was playing this game now, I believe that is what I would do. Increasingly, I don't like arsenaling cards that don't have natural go again. I don't like giving Cold Snap power in this matchup. It is a very bad card if it doesn't get to do its effect. We get a Sink Below out of Iyslander's arsenal. Iyslander is keeping 3 cards, and we put our Blaze Headlong into arsenal. Iyslander showing why she chose to give up the Sink Below rather than protect it, keeping a 3-card hand to play the Aether Ice Vein with the Fuse. Showing us a Cold Snap, we immediately get punished for putting this Blaze Headlong into arsenal. Yes, if we had Kodachi Command and Conquer, we would have wound up with a Warmog's Diplomacy off of our Mask trigger. We would have pitched that to FaB to pick up an Arsenal of Phoenix Flame, which also would have been not a great card to put into Arsenal, but it would have been fine. Yeah. So now we have, with the Cold Snap in arsenal, knowing that it's there, We're just going to let this Blaze Headlong sit. Attack with the Kodachi. Iyslander responds with a Cold Snap. 2 floating for a Waning Moon. We have no Arcane Barrier, so we'll just take this. We have nothing to respond to the Cold Snap with. We're happy to let Blaze Headlong get frozen here because we can still send a decent amount of damage back in Iyslander's direction. We'll attack with our second Kodachi and then send Enlightened Strike for 7. Force Iyslander to block this. Potentially they could take 7, give us a card draw. It is extremely unlikely that we're going to use Snapdragons here. We would have been able to play the brand, but with no resources floating, we have no way of knowing that. Another Aether Ice Vein showing Insidious Chill. We're lucky this chill was not able to come down first before double Ice Vein. Let's see how we're going to respond to this Ice Vein. Likely discarding Lava Burst. With Lava Burst and Salt in hand, we have 2 finishers. Yes, we have our Snapdragons available, but we don't necessarily want to use it now, and with having to discard something anyway, discarding Lava Burst is a great place to start. We will be able to send Brand, Kodachi, Phoenix Flame, which will give our Blaze Headlong go again. And leave us 1 floating resource to play to attack with our second Kodachi. So we will still get to go 6 links wide with this hand, even through Insidious Chill coming out of Arsenal. We'll have our Spring Tunic available. So it stinks that we are having to deal with a second Fused Ice Vein, but at least we will get to present a pretty good turn on the back end. There was a line where we could pay with Salt here. It seems like that's what we're choosing to do. I don't agree with this line in hindsight. Salt is still going to deal a lot of damage this turn, even if it isn't more than Lava Burst. Salt is equivalent damage, it's Blizzard protection. I think in general, keeping your yellows when you have a choice between them and your reds is a good call. So not what I would have done here if I could make this decision now, but in theory, the turn will still work out for us. Getting the Ironrot Gauntlet block on the Kodachi is unexpected, but still fine. We now, depending on what Iyslander does, we don't necessarily need to attack with the Kodachi here. We can send 2, 4, 5 and keep our Tunic. Iyslander giving us Coronet Peak here. I don't like the Tunic activation. I would have liked to attack with Blaze Headlong first, see if Iyslander wanted to commit to blocking it. Maybe they have a Sink Below in hand that they're sitting on. Lava Burst still coming in for 5 damage either way. Yes, we like to use our Tunics when we have them available, but using a Tunic for 1 point of damage is not necessarily the value I'm looking for. Iyslander with a 3rd Aether Ice Vein, and here we are looking at a chill trigger, which is unfortunate, also having to play through Channel Lake Frigid. So we're going to have to discard twice, and we are not going to be able to follow up with anything significant on our turn. So probably discarding double Lava Burst. We could also pitch both Lava Bursts, keep them live in our deck. We have Flame Call Awakening in this game, so we do have a way to shuffle these back in. That would allow us to likely be looking at pay, double pay, discard, Blaze Headlong, attack with Snatch, send 4 damage. If Iyslander wants to block it, that's fine. Drawing a card doesn't matter because we still have something in Arsenal. But it's still just 4 damage, and we are up on life here. And keep in mind that if we had kept our Tunic the last turn, sent the Blaze Headlong first, Iyslander had a way to block that Blaze Headlong. We could have kept our Tunic and then finished with a Lava Burst, still put our Iyslander at 15. We wouldn't have a card in Arsenal, but we would have a little more flexibility on this turn, so just something to keep in mind. So here, if I'm making this call, again, to the Chill trigger, we're double pitching Lava Bursts. To the Ice Vein effect, we are discarding Blaze Headlong. We're attacking with Snatch. We're keeping a brand in Arsenal. And letting Iyslander decide how she wants to play out her turn. Excuse me, play out our turn. You might be asking why I'm choosing to double pitch here, clear out my hand as opposed to keeping some of this gas. In general, I don't like ending my turn with reds in hand against an Iyslander if I can avoid it. FaB does enough damage over the length of the game that he would much rather function with blues than with reds, especially with Nazca Momentum and Kodachi. An all-red hand means that you don't get a turn against something like a Channel Lake Frigid or a Blizzard. Multiple blues in hand means that you do get a turn against those. We're sending the brand with Cinderclaw. This is not a play that I really like. I understand why I'm doing it, because if Iyslander does not use the Channel Lake Frigid, maybe we catch them with an all-red hand. Maybe we catch them and they just don't feel the need to play it. We're forcing them to use their Channel Lake Frigid, as opposed to what we would have done, which is just sending 4 and giving really the turn back to Iyslander. We do catch her in an interesting way. We might be looking at another either Ice Vein hand where she's just going to take this damage so that she can get double a Chill trigger and a Ice Vein. This Iyslander is drawing extremely hot. Ice Vein every turn of the game is really a problem. So here we're looking at another Chill trigger, another Ice Vein trigger. We know that Iyslander has a blue in hand and a Cold Snap, Channel Lake Frigid. She will likely pitch this Cold Snap to Waning Moon. So we're taking 7 damage this turn, going to 18. And we need to decide how to send the most damage back at Iyslander. So probably just discarding Double Flames here, keeping 2 blues in hand. On our turn, we can send Kodachi, Rising Resentment. That is going to cost a total of 1, 4, 5 resources, which we can pay for with our double blues. It forces a block from Iyslander. There is a line where we could pay for a Chill, discard or pitch Spreading Flames to play for Ice Vein, keep Spreading Flames in hand. We play the Spreading Flames, Channel Lake comes down, Rising Resentment costs 2. This is more damage, it's 6 instead of 5, but it does not force Iyslander to block. With Kodachi, Rising Resentment, unless Iyslander wants to give us a mask trigger, it does force her to block. It also lets us play through Channel Link and Blizzard. We would have 5 resources available to play a Rising Resentment, which is what Rising Resentment would cost through Channel Link and Blizzard. So we'll just discard Double Spreading Flames here. Keep our blues and look to send Double Kodachi with Rising Resentment. Hopefully get a mask. We'll have a Spring Tunic available on our next turn. And we can hopefully look to, well, maybe Iyslander catches a bad hand. Leading with Rising Resentment here, I don't like this plan. We are not going to get a mask trigger. With this line of play, we're not going to threaten one. I understand. I want to say this is just muscle memory on my part, saying if you've got to clear the arsenal because of Cold Snap. But we know that Iyslander doesn't have a Cold Snap in Arsenal, and Stormstriders cannot bring it out in some weird alternate universe where Iyslander cares about that. Kodachi Rising Resentment is just a better line. It's something that we can play, that we can pay for. What we're doing instead, again, this is the same amount, it's 5, but the Kodachi Rising line wasn't about how much damage it dealt. It was about what sort of action it prompted from Iyslander. So yeah, we're putting our Iyslander down to 3. Based on her giving us Tunic, it wouldn't have mattered that we Kodachi Rising. Iyslander was going to block the mask trigger anyway, but still. It isn't about winning. This practice isn't about winning or losing. It's about making correct plays in the correct situations, and there, I believe that was the wrong play. So here we have a chill trigger. We have a fused brain freeze. So we're going to lose 2 cards here. We have a bunch of 0. We have 3 0 costs. And we have a chill trigger. So we can decide how we want to set this up. We're keeping our Flame Call, but we know that Iyslander is going to pitch this Frost Hex to the Waning Moon, which will keep Channel Link Frigid around for another turn. So we can't play the Flame Call. It's just going to get pitched into something. So what we are going to discard to the chill is this Double Strike. Double Strike is terrible against Channel Link Frigid. We want to discard the Double Strike because that will present Iyslander with a decision. We have to keep... She cannot take this Flame Call, which means she has to put Ronin Renegade or Salt the Wound back on top of our deck. If she takes Ronin Renegade, then we play Flame Call Awakening and pitch Salt the Wound. If she takes Salt the Wound, then we play Ronin Renegade and pitch Flame Call Awakening. We're sending 3 at Iyslander either way, which is forcing her to block. We don't want Double Strike. Say we discard Ronin Renegade, we keep Double Strike and Salt the Wound. Iyslander puts Salt the Wound back on top of our deck. We pitch Flame Call to play Double Strike, but we can't play the back half of it. So it's just 1 point of damage. Discarding Double Strike makes this a 3 damage turn, no matter what. Iyslander running through the same mental math that we just went through, determining this is a 3 damage turn no matter what happens. There is a world where we pass here. We just move to end, Arsenal our Ronin Renegade, and try to set up for a big turn coming up. With us at 13 and Iyslander still having Storm Striders, I don't like that plan. There's nothing to say that she can't just Ice Fan us on her turn, take us to 8 or 9, and then kill us on our turn. We don't have Arcane Barrier, so there's really no... it's just giving her a free turn. Here we do prompt her to do something. She has to block this, and she has no armor left to do it. She's putting us to 9. She'll block the Ronin. Move to her turn. Arsenal a card. She'll lose the Channel Lake Frigid, but that's fine. It puts us at 9. Iyslander still has Striders, so we've lost this game. We don't have recourse for this without having Arcane Barrier. And Iyslander even has the Winter's Bite, which is just so good against us here. It's a way for Iyslander to utilize the card in her hand. We know that she's going to Arsenal. There's even a world where she Waning Moons us. Never mind, she wouldn't be able to keep the Channel Link around. So, thinking about what we can do, there really just isn't. We don't have an option here. We just need Iyslander to not draw something that she can kill us with Storm Striders. It's pretty unlikely that that is the case. Overall, I think this game went very well for us, about as well as could be expected. I don't think we made any serious misplays. I think that we did the best we could in the circumstances we had. We had to play through 5 Aether Ice Fanes. 3 of them were Insidious Chill triggers. We played through Channel Lake Frigid. I think that's just... I wouldn't say that this is the highest of high rolls that Iyslander could have had, but this is just a hard situation for FaB to deal with. We didn't have a good Art of War turn. Just overall, I think both players played well. Sometimes you lose when you play well. So the fused Ice Fanes, facing them 5 of them is a problem. Channel Lake is a problem. We didn't have an uncontested Art of War. We have no Arcane Barrier. So sometimes that is just how the games are going to break out. But in general, that's this matchup. Good luck in your own Iyslander games. May you not have to deal with Insidious Chill, 5 Ice Fanes, and a fused Brain Freeze. But I will catch you all again in our next video. Good luck in your games, and if you have any comments, leave them below. Let me know how you feel about being the Ninja Clan. If you did think I made any misplays, let me know. If you think I played really well, let me know. If you have any questions about your own matchups that you want my advice on, you want me to record some games against those heroes, let me know that too. Like, subscribe, follow. I'll catch you all next time.